Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we are going to talk about how we can create a language assessment application. Let's start coding. Okay, so for the coding side, I'm going to be using VS Code as the code editor. You can use anything that you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Jupyter notebook, like let's say language assessment tool.ipmb, and in here I'm going to select kernel. Firstly, let's talk about what we are going to do clearly. So we are going to create a language assessment tool. It's going to get an input from user, and then it's going to evaluate it in terms of grammar, vocabulary, and fluency. And at the end, it's going to give an advice. After evaluating, it's going to give an advice about how user can improve this language understanding or what was wrong. It's going to advise in this way. So this is our aim in this video. So I'm going to start by importing LangChain and showing my LangChain version that I'm using currently, because sometimes libraries can be updated and code working behind it, or the exact codes can be removed or changed. So if you want to apply this code by yourself, and if you are going to try it, I advise you to install this version. Like you can do it by, I will say pip3. If you're on Windows, you can use pip3 install LangChain, and then I'm going to specify the version like this. And when you make this run, you are going to install LangChain 0.2.12, that's the version that I'm using right now. And in this way, you can be sure about all the codes are working on your computer too. If you have already installed LangChain, you can simply do pip3 install pip for Windows, pip3 uninstall LangChain, and in this way you can uninstall, then you can install with the old code that I give. Pip install LangChain 2 equal signs and 0.12. So I want to start by this because I think it's pretty important. When I see tutorials, people say it's not working on me and problems like that. So I think it's pretty important to give the version of the library or the libraries that are used in the projects. Okay, now that our libraries are installed, we need to import them into our environment. So we are going to import the chat OpenAI from scikit-learn, not scikit-learn, LangChain, chat models, import chat OpenAI. Like this, and then we are going to import large language model chain for managing the interaction flow. You will say from LangChain chains import large language model chain, and then we are going to import the prompt template to structure the input prompt. So for that, we will say from LangChain prompts import prompt template like this. And these are going to be our imports, and I'm going to remove one L. It's unnecessary. Large language model chain, LLM chain. Okay, now it's working smoothly. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a variable named API key like this, and in here I'm going to enter my API key from OpenAI. I'm not going to share my key in the video. You can get your own from OpenAI API Playground website. You can simply type OpenAI API to the Google for getting an API key. It's free to generate an API key, and when you create your account, they give you $5 for testing the models they provide and also checking the API Playground. Also, you can add balance to your profile. This video won't cost too much. I think it's going to be about 30 cents, 20 cents. It's going to be something like that. It's up to you. And after entering my API key, I deleted it after pasting it and running the cell. Now we can continue. So now we are going to define the language assessment prompt. And we are going to define a prompt that will guide the evaluation of the text. So the prompt needs to clearly instruct the large language model on what aspects of the text to assess. And we are going to create something like prompt, and we will ask the model to evaluate the text in three areas: grammar, vocabulary, and fluency. Additionally, we will request specific recommendations on how to improve any identified weaknesses in these areas. The prompt will be dynamic, meaning that the actual text to be evaluated will be inserted into the prompt template that we are going to create. So we are going to create the template right now, and then we are going to use prompt template, and this prompt is going to be used on there, and we are going to use large language model chain with that. Okay, so let's write our prompt. I will say, please evaluate the following, let's be kind to our model, following text based on the following 3 criteria. And we will say 1. Grammar. Are there any grammatical errors? And next I will say vocabulary, and is there vocabulary usage appropriate, and vary it. Also, let's write this with text like this. And next we will say fluency. Does the text read smoothly and naturally? And great. Now we will say text, and we will say text like this. And next what we are going to do is we will say the last sentence, please provide a brief assessment of each category, and then give specific recommendations on how to improve the weak areas of the text. And this is going to be our prompt. So let's reread it quickly. Please evaluate the following text based, by the way, I saw that, I'm going to fix that right now. Please evaluate the following text based on the following 3 criteria. Grammar, are there any grammatical errors? Vocabulary, is the vocabulary usage appropriate and varied? And fluency, does the text read smoothly and naturally? Okay, we give the text in here. The input is going to be in here. Please provide a brief assessment of each category, and then give specific recommendations on how to improve the weak areas of the text. Great, looks amazing. Let's make it run. And now we are going to create a function for evaluating the text. This is going to take the text as input and return an evaluation based on the criteria we specified earlier. So inside the function, we first going to create prompt template, which is going to format the prompt by inserting the text to be evaluated into the template in here. And next we are going to initialize chat OpenAI using our API key and specifying the GPT-4 model. I'm going to use that model for this video. So this is going to handle communication with the language model. And then we are going to set large language model chain object that connects the language model chat OpenAI with the prompt template. The chain is responsible for sending the formatted prompt to the language model and returning the output. And at the last step, we are going to run the chain, and we will pass the text to be evaluated, and we are going to return the result that we want. So let's write that. We will say define evaluate text, and we will give the text inside of this. So at the first place, we are going to create a prompt template. Prompt template is going to be prompt template. This one we imported. Template is going to be prompt, and input variables is going to be text like this. And also we are not going to use 2 equal signs. And at the next step, we will say chat model. We are going to use chat OpenAI from LangChain, this one. So I'm going to say chat model, chat OpenAI. We will say API key is going to be our API key that we defined, and the model is going to be GPT-4. And next what we are going to do is we will create the chain like large language model chain, and I'm going to set this like large language model is going to be chat model, and prompt is going to be prompt template. Great. So at the next step, I will say result, and we are going to run the chain in here like this, and we will say text, and we will say text like this, and finally we can return our result. So this is going to be our function. Also there is a typo, let me quickly check it. We say chain.run, and then we say, oh okay, this needs to be in here, and in this way it's going to be running smoothly. Okay, so now the best part, our function is ready. So we create a prompt template, then we use chat OpenAI and initialize our large language model, then we create our chain, and then we run. Now let's test this out. It's going to the final step. So I took some example texts from internet and I'm going to make copy paste. I don't want to take too much time from you, and I want this tutorial to be short, so I'm just going to make a copy paste on writing the texts, and I'm going to read them. So we are both going to see what's writing in the text, and we are not going to lose too much time because I'm not going to be typing them one by one. So I'm going to paste it in here, sample text. So let's read it. She don't like the movie because it was too long and boring. However, the cinematography was absolutely stunning and the performances were decent. So we are going to say evaluation, and it's going to be evaluate text. We are going to call our function in here, and we need to pass the text. So give the sample text inside, and let's get our result. I'm waiting for it to run, and when it runs I'm going to be in here in a second. Okay, it ran in 30 seconds. By the way, it throws depreciation errors like this, but they're not important. I don't care about them, so we are not going to do anything with them. I will say evaluation, and let's see our result. So yeah, I'm checking for a thing. Oh, okay, we have this in here. So let's say print evaluation. So it's not going to look in this way. Yeah, it looks clearly better right now. Okay, let's read about our result. By the way, what changed in there is, I'm going to quickly show you. I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to come to that part. If you see this, if you say print, then it's going to make this as a break. Like, it's in one line right now, but at the point that we see, like in this point, it just goes to the next line. If you say it with print, if you print it with print. So if you directly type it, it's not going to give you multiple lines, it's going to give you a single line, and it's hard to read. So let's read it. There is a grammatical error in the text at the grammar side. The correct grammar should be, she doesn't like the movie because it was too long and boring. Don't is incorrect in this context as the subject she is singular. Great. Let's read about the vocabulary. The vocabulary usage in this text is appropriate and varied. Words like cinematography, stunning, and decent demonstrate a good range of vocabulary. Okay, let's see about the fluency side. The text reads smoothly and naturally. It presents a contrast of opinion effectively, first stating the negative aspects of the movie and then mentioning the positive ones. Okay, let's read our recommendations. To improve the weak areas of the text, the author should pay close attention to subject-verb agreement in sentences. In this case, the verb doesn't should agree with the singular subject she. Therefore, the corrected sentence should read, she doesn't like the movie because it was too long and boring. However, the cinematography was absolutely stunning and the performances were decent. Great! So, our language assessment tool working perfectly. Great! Let's do more examples. I took a text for a book review and I took it from a book review. Let's read it. The book was an intriguing tale of adventure and mystery. I don't know how to read that. So, although the plot was a bit predictable at times, the characters were well developed and engaging. I particularly enjoyed the vivid descriptions of the landscapes. Okay, it looks great. Let's use it like book review, evaluation, and give evaluate text and wait book review text like this. And I'm going to make it run. So let's wait for it. So it ran in 7 seconds. Let's print it. Book review evaluation. And let's read about it. Grammar. The text is grammatically correct. There are no errors in punctuation, sentence structure, or verb tense. Great. Vocabulary. The vocabulary usage is appropriate and varied. Words like intriguing, I don't know how to read that, predictable, well-developed, and vivid add depth to the text and stimulate readers' interest. Great. Fluency. The text reads smoothly and naturally. It has a logical flow and the sentence structure is varied, which makes it engaging to read. And our final comment is overall, the text is quite strong in all areas. Given the high quality of the text, there are no specific recommendations for improvement. Okay, so as we see, our language assessment tool is working perfectly. So what I'm going to do right now is, I'm going to summarize what we did in the video and then close the video. So this was our aim: input from user, evaluated and given advice. We achieve it. I imported LangChain, I show you the version. Then we import chat OpenAI, large language model chain and prompt template. Then we enter our API key. We define the prompt like this, and it's a dynamic. So we insert here the text we take from user, and then we create a prompt template in the function in here, and then we initialize the large language model. We create and run our chain, then we return the result. So we gave a sample text in here and we get our evaluation. And that was all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching this tutorial on language assessment tool creation. I have a playlist about LangChain and AI. You can check that playlist from the cards of this video. Have a great day.